nerds, and welcome back to the Help Where Nerds podcast. Today we're diving into Doctor Who and the recent news that came out about the cancellation of the Christmas special and Russell T Davies and Bad Wolf's departure. Now, I know that us Whoniverse fans and Whovians are sad on this news, but I just wanted to add our take on it and some clarity to what's actually going on. So I've seen some uh, I wouldn't really go misinformation, but some confusion on this topic. That when I've been doing some research, I've been able to find clarification for myself, and I just wanted to share that out there with my fellow Whovians and fellow nerds. So let's actually dive into this. So this won't actually be a long podcast episode. It's just really going over everything that came out on Wednesday about the cancellation of the Christmas special and Russell T Davies and Bad Wolf Studios' exit from Doctor Who and what a competitive tender actually is. So it's going to be a very short one, really, in comparison to what we normally put out, as we are working on something for next week for our reaction series. So look forward to that if you do like our reaction videos and stuff like that. But we couldn't miss talking about this as if you've been around the channel, you know that we've reviewed Doctor Who every year that it's come out, and it would be remiss of us not to talk about this. So let's actually get into what actually happened. On Wednesday, we were all told that the 2026 Christmas special of Doctor Who would not be taking place and had been subsequently cancelled by the BBC after talks with Russell T Davies, Bad Wolf Studios, and themselves had taken place, and that this, according to the BBC, and I quote, was not taken lightly, as they knew this would disappoint fans. Now, yes, they were right, this has disappointed fans, including myself. I am very, very, very disappointed in this. I was looking forward to this, and to be honest, the main reason I was looking forward to this is I was hoping it would provide a resolution to whatever the heck that was at the end of Shooty's regeneration, with Billie Piper's face showing up, even if it was just a quick, her face shows up and then she switches to a new Doctor's face, like a cycling through faces moment. That would have been cool. I'm not opposed to it being that. Like, that could have been what they did. It doesn't even really matter. But the fact that they ended it like that and now they're not going ahead and Russell is no longer attached, he's kind of left the next producer and writing team in a bit of a hole to fill in that gap, which we'll get into some other gripes I have later on with Russell, because I do have a big one, and I think the rest of us will have as well when we start talking about it. But yeah. Um, Obviously, the BBC have outright come out and said that they are still committed to Doctor Who and that they want to keep the show going, that they're very committed, and that when the TARDIS lands again, they want it to land so in glory. Which, okay, that's good. That's good to hear as a Doctor Who fan. So you're committed to Doctor Who. You're not ready to let it go. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I know there's been some confusion around its cancellation, and I know social media and some news scaremongering headlines haven't helped with the fact that a lot of people on social media are talking as though we are in another wilderness period. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about when I say wilderness period, I'm talking about the age between Sylvester McCoy's Doctor and Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, that period of time where there was no Doctor Who on TV, but we were still getting subsequent Doctor Who material from like magazines or audio dramas and things like that. Most of which I wasn't around for, but some that I have subsequently picked up over the years and read or listened to. And I think that this is what they're referring to when they say wilderness years. This is what actually kind of inspired a lot of stories that we actually did eventually end up getting in New Who. Uh, so, if we do get a wilderness period, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It means that we can get some fresh stories out there from the general public that could be then um, used to write the next installment of Doctor Who down the line. Russell T Davies and those that brought Doctor Who back actually drew from some of the stuff from the Wilderness years and built Doctor Who back up from there. So it's not always a bad thing. Um, Now, I'm not advocating for a Wilderness Years. I would love to keep Doctor Who on screen. It's one of the main comforts I have in life, Doctor Who. So I would really appreciate Doctor Who not to go anywhere. But obviously, I don't really have any say, nor do we as a fandom have much say over the BBC. So hopefully they do find a way to keep it on air. That brings me to why the confusion exists, and that's because the BBC have said they're putting it out to competitive tender, and a lot of people have taken that to mean that the show is being shelved or cancelled, and that's not what that means. Russell T Davies has staunchly come out and disproved that and fought against that himself, and I've also looked it up myself and googled it and seen what that means, and for quick expediency, it just means that Doctor Who is being put out to be bid on by external production companies, to be produced by an external production company while still being hosted by the BBC. That's basically what I've been able to ascertain from it. So, akin to how Bad Wolf and Disney were producing Doctor Who together in partnership, it'd be like that, except it would be another production company that would produce Doctor Who, and it would still be hosted by the BBC. It That's pretty much all it is. It's not the first project that BBC have done this with. They've actually done it with Casualty, so it's a pretty normal practice within the BBC to have this done and have this like executed properly and everything like that. So I'm pretty sure that this is like a normal thing that happens at the BBC. Uh, um, Russell T Davies went into a bit more information on Gadio. I think I said that right. If I didn't get the station correct, please let me know how it's pronounced in the comments over here on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, because it really does help us with the algorithm. So now that that's out of the way, we'll move on to keep talking. Yes, as I was saying, he went into more detail on that over there and how it really works, and basically how it just basically what I said. It's just that a production company would come in and produce Doctor Who for the BBC. That's pretty much it in layman's terms, and similar to what Bad Wolf were doing before him and Bad Wolf stepped away. Now, the negative side and the thing that has kind of left a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Russell T Davies, not only was he being a bit defensive on the fact of what competitive tender actually means, which could appear to be damage control after he's left kind of abruptly to fans and left us in the lurch when it comes to there being no Christmas special. But he's kind of backtracked on himself and seemed to be a little dishonest, as he told people before that he pitched the episode, the Christmas special, to BBC execs, and they loved the pitch, they loved the plot and everything like that. He's now come out and said that nothing was ever written about the Christmas special, so he didn't even have anything written down to do with the Christmas special. So which is it, Russell? Was there a pitch and a plot that you pitched to the execs that they loved wholeheartedly and were behind? Or was nothing ever written? Because it can't really be both. If you don't really know what you were going to do, then how did you pitch it? And if you knew what you were going to do, then why are you saying you never wrote anything? That's all that's what's kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. It feels like he didn't really know what he was going to do, and he's thrown the Billie Piper cameo in as a last minute, ooh, let's throw in this bit of fan service. It feels very somehow Palpatine returned to me, not very thought out, just we need this to, I want this to happen, and it's gonna be cool and everyone's gonna love it, except as Star Wars fans will tell you, no, we didn't love it, and it's a bit weird. And same with the Billie Piper reveal. Yeah, in the moment, it's shock and awe, and it's like, wow, that's kind of cool. But also, what were you going for here? This doesn't make sense. And now that you're not in charge, and Bad Wolf is no longer connected, you've left someone else to pick up these pieces and come up with a story as to why Billie's face was there at the end. That's not really fun or fair. This feels icky to me and a bit grimy in the practice. I don't really want to disparage anybody, but this feels bad to me. Let me know if you guys agree with me, because I don't really understand how you could set all this up and then not pay it off and leave someone else to pay it off and step completely away. So there aren't even any notes for someone to pick up and just be like, this is how we're going to pay it off. This feels dishonest to your fans, to the next writers, to everybody that worked on Doctor Who. Am I exaggerating here, or do you guys feel the same? Because this is kind of, like I said, tainted my view of Russell T Davies. I liked Russell T Davies. He brought Doctor Who back to the screens. He built up the entire David Tennant era. He built up the entire Christopher Eccleston era and everything. Two of my favourite eras of Doctor Who. So, but this has just tainted it, and there might be more to the story that I don't know or that we don't know, but this just feels weird and wrong in my opinion. But I think I've rambled on about this enough, and I hope I've cleared up what actually is happening. From my understanding, all it is that they're searching for a new production company to help create Doctor Who. It's not been cancelled or shelved. It might be on pause for a while they find a new producer, but that's nothing new. Doctor Who has vanished from screens for a couple of years and then popped back up. It did so during the Matt Smith era. It disappeared for a little bit and then popped back up like nearly a year later, nearly 2 years later. So it's nothing new to happen. Maybe that's what will happen, and maybe it gives us a bit of breathing room to cause some distance between the Billie Piper reveal and the Disney era of Doctor Who. But let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know if you have any way that you would write around the Billie Piper of it all and everything like that. And with that being said, I'm going to call this video to an end. I know this was a very short podcast episode, but I do still hope you enjoyed. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and most of all, and say it with me, stay nerdy.